What is going on, everyone? My name's Boit, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology. The Titans action spawning in the bottom of the map in the blue color, playing as Oranos. His name is Mariano. His opponent today in the red color, playing as Loki. His name is Matreiuss. The map is Oasis, I believe. Oasis is the map, and we're seeing Mariano yet again going back in with the Loki. For those of you guys watching from home wondering exactly how many games these guys are going to be playing, it is indeed a best of 5, which means first to 3. So effectively from here on out, it's a best of 3. But these guys are starting to warm up to each other, figuring out exactly how each other is playing, and a lot of shenanigans to come here. As we'll see what Matreiuss is going to be doing on this map. We do see the double Ulfsark start here from Matreiuss to try and get as many goats as he possibly can. This is vitally important in this matchup. There's tons of giraffe here. This is as good of a map that Matreiuss is going to be hoping for here. As he finds the goat here, he's going to be able to get a little bit of damage onto the oracles here as well. We do see that Mariano is going to be able to steal some goat coming back. That's nice. Matreiuss does notice that himself, though, as he brings his Ulfsark over here. Villagers starting to come over onto this position as the oracle's getting shanked just a little bit. Just a little bit of damage is enough to dissuade the oracle from sticking around and at least dissuade the Oranos player from going for a Valor attack in the early game, which is going to be obviously a difficult thing to do after those Ulfsarks have done so much damage. So in the end here, how many goats have those two Ulfsarks found? 7 goats to 6 goats here, as it's that's a little bit less than I would have expected. I believe there's got to be more on the map. No, it looks like they've basically found all of the goats here after all is said and done. Nice play from both players here. It's a small amount of goats, but a huge amount of hunt. So a bit of a which one's better, I don't know. As I really like this opening from Matreiuss. It's super Greek-esque. And what I mean by that is what happens with Greek players is what they like to do is they like to put a small amount of villagers onto their starting hunt. And then when they go to the next age, they're able to shuffle those villagers onto wood, which means less walking time overall. And they also mean that they can send the villagers over onto a secondary hunt and be in a great position. The thing is with Norse is it doesn't really matter that much because you can move the ox cart and it doesn't really matter that much. But the small amounts of efficiencies here that come through, if the hunt is an opposite direction than the villagers have already walked, it does matter. So with Matreiuss here going on to 2 separate pieces of hunt here in the early stages of the game, he's able to save these villagers walking time from going to here and then back to here. So he basically, in the end, he probably saves a grand total of maybe like 50 resources, which is nothing small. That's a decent amount of resources that he probably saves by making that kind of a decision to build 2 ox carts earlier and move over onto this position. Though, that being said, not building the ox cart earlier also probably saves you around that many villagers or that many resources. So a bit of a... As the Skraeling there does get taken out. Nice shockwave from Mariano. Good awareness because you're never going to be using shockwave onto a Loki player anyways, generally. As you do see the military barracks, counter barracks coming through for Mariano. As the classic age coming through here for Mariano as well. The unit starting to move through onto this position. One goat has been squandered, stolen. And we'll see how it's going to go as the goat retreats back home. And a stray Hearser sneaking through to start hitting this villager. No mana down on this position. This is going to be a good amount of damage that Hearser is going to be able to get done onto this citizen here of Mariano. And Mariano not paying attention here. He is sending some units over there as the villagers are slowly making their way onto this position. Mariano decides for the time being here to just alt S, but he says he decides against that. As the villagers still coming through, Matreiuss just happily getting as much damage as he possibly can. As the villagers get angry, Matreiuss notices it and he pulls back before he even gets attacked there. Nice play from Matreiuss there. As the units are going to be pulling back. And another, the first longhouse now coming through for Matreiuss. And he has to decide whether to go for Hall of Thanes early or get himself out throwing Axeman early. Those are the decisions you kind of have to work out as the Loki player in this matchup. And with the military barracks, counter barracks coming through, maybe you can get away with the early Hall of Thanes. Maybe you can't. We'll have to wait and see. As the giraffe here still getting eaten up, units pushing through here, as Matreiuss is going to be able to greet them early while leaving the troll at home to deal with any of those human units, those non-hero units. Going to be in a good position to defend this giraffe until it's completely eaten. There's also chickens here that are very much out in the middle of the map here, which maybe Mariano is going to be able to put some pressure onto. So Matreiuss is going to be a little bit careful with that. But at this point, Matreiuss is Hursa are looking very, very scary. As Mariano, he's currently on his hunt over here. He's trying to pump out units as best as he can. He's actually stopped the Terma for the time being. Just built a handful of them, realizing that maybe he needs to start moving away from those. He can get himself husbandry and make himself jump onto the herdables here, get another military barracks and go straight into mass Murmillo. Deciding against that as the villagers now moving on to the chickens. Meanwhile, in the main base here, we do see the Hursa have managed to defend this one nicely as the last zebra just getting finished off here. Oh, 2 zebras still remaining here, actually. So not just going to be able to finish those off without too much of a problem. The Promethean offspring just hanging out on that position. Not sure what it's doing. Relic has been picked up over here. It is the Flagstone of Buchan, going to be making those walls a little bit cheaper. And there's also the Cathara of Apollo here that's been picked up by Mariano as well, which is going to be a huge assistance with these villagers moving around the map. And it does actually kind of stack with that upgrade for the relic here, the relic here with the gold reduction cost, because the villagers moving faster means they're going to be able to get to the place they need to build the wall faster. The cheaper walls mean they're cheaper and kind of get more walls up. Kind of synergy in a way. I love this wall here from Matreiuss. Going to be able to give his villagers a bit of a defensive retreat there. There is Hall of Thanes at the moment here by Matreiuss as well, as the Hursa coming through to defend that. That ox cart going to be more than safe as the unit's trying to retreat away here as the Hursa say, get out of here for the time being. The big problem here, though, for Matreiuss to overcome, as always for Loki in this matchup, is going to be that second gold mine. Here, and on the bottom. So how is he going to be able to secure this? I love the idea of a wall over in the middle of the map there, as Matreiuss does clean up that Oracle on that position as the Hursa moving straight past. We do see medium Murmillo has come through for Matreiuss at this point, 80 population to 85 population. But Matreiuss here, his plan with these Hursa is not necessarily, I don't think, to get damage. It's to distract. This is a very, very standard Norse idea. Happens with Odin, happens with Thor, happens with Loki. It's to distract the Oranos at this point in the game and stop building Hursa. He's still building them, but you can keep building them, obviously. But stop building Hursa and go heroic age. Generally is the way to go. Is now the Matreiuss Hursa pushing into the left side of the map, going to try and pick off some citizen here as well, as Mariano pulls all the way back home from that Hursa movement. Really nice play from Matreiuss. He spots the villagers here. The villagers are idle. They're going to immediately be garrisoned and move over onto the gold here. A little bit of damage coming onto the manor as Eyes of the Forest coming through as well for Matreiuss to give his Hursa just a little bit more line of sight. As the Hursa pulling around, he's got himself a ton. And the big thing that comes from these Hursa is when the heroic age comes through, you get that natural boost for your heroes to go up to the heroic age. I think it's an extra 10% or an extra 15% in HP and damage, effectively equaling getting heavy upgrades straight away. And also the flaming weapons coming through with that Loki myth unit spawn mechanic. He gets the troll here. It's going to be absolutely huge as the mana getting cleaned up. The villagers here going to get pushed out of this position. A little bit of an attempt to repair this one back up as the army of Mariano coming through here. The mana does go down. One hero citizen, it seems, goes down there as well. Huge pick by Matreiuss, as Matreiuss now is going to pull all the way back home. Look at the resources piling up here for Matreiuss as well, as his armory coming up in the main base here. He's only got himself 6 dwarves out. He's got himself 7 dwarves out, but that's so huge. This macro from Matreiuss is going to allow him to hit the heroic age really, really nicely. He might even be able to get himself a second town center here as well, though I think the most important part is to just get himself that heroic age, and he manages to do so, get himself the full population, and be able to click the flaming weapons in the main base of the Oranos player. As the gold tier, he's still got 700 gold remaining in that gold mine, which means plenty more Hersa are going to be coming in. Another thing that Matreiuss can do here is he grabbing himself the town center. No, farms coming up. He can start putting up longhouses or temples at the front here to start putting immediate pressure onto the main base, as the army of Mariano is absolutely lost here. It's got no idea what to do. We've also got watchtowers already in on this position and a handful of Hersa waiting in the main base to kind of defend here as the wall getting broken down. The units here of Matreiuss getting caught out of position. Matreiuss' spidey senses not tingled hard enough there, as Mariano gets up that town center kind of for free, as these Hersa are getting pushed back over on this position. Bragi at 80% here, as Plow coming through to help boost those that farm gather rate there. The troll does get taken out. The units getting pulled back here, as the Loki Hersa pushing around onto this position, trying to take down the citizen here as well. As the troll does get taken down, the Hersa trying to get onto those terms, but good micro from Mariano here, as Matreiuss trying to send all of his units forward now to get a really strong flaming weapons attack. Does he have any armor upgrades? No armor upgrades for Matreiuss. No armor upgrades here for Mariano either, as he's taking this fight. Flaming weapons does get dropped down here as the villagers getting pulled back. The gold mine in the main base does have 1,300 gold left in it. So this game here, Mariano does have an opportunity here to stay alive, but generally speaking, the Oranos player ends up losing the town center here, which means this gold mine is not as safe as you might think. And Mariano now run out of food here in this game, in his main base. He doesn't have the farms up. Matreiuss has got plenty of resources in the bank. He's pumping out units. He's pushing in with those Hersa as the Murmillo do come in to attempt to defend this. There's no watchtowers up for Mariano either, as a huge mountain giant spawn here for Matreiuss is going to help take down that town center here as well, as more myth units will most likely keep pushing in here. But it does look like, after all is said and done, that Mariano is defending here relatively nicely, though a frost giant does come through, and Matreiuss is going to have to pull back. He does not have the production buildings up just yet to pump out all of the units that he's going to be wanting to build here. He's got himself 100 favor as well, so no production of the battle balls just yet, as the mountain giant goes down and Mariano lives another day. But the battle ball going after mana's up on this position here is going to be a little bit of a pain here for Mariano to deal with as well. As the dwarves pushing into the large gold mine in the middle of the map, more Hersa should be starting to get trained here by Matreiuss. Or Matreiuss is going to just be thinking, maybe he can go to the mythic age here as another idea to get himself the Nidhogg, get himself the fire giants coming through. It'd be really tough for an Oranos player to kind of deal with that in these situations, as the mana getting taken out over here. Battle ball going to be retreating back for the time being. Villagers moving forward onto this position to potentially grab that gold mine, but there is an oracle on that position there, scouting that one out. Matreiuss decides against staying there, instead moving onto this position here as well, as more Hersa are going to start getting pumped here for Matreiuss. And this is where the weakness of Matreiuss' build does come in. It's when Matreiuss has to stick gatherers onto the gold mine. Now, for every, I think the math is, for every 7, or it could be 8, just figure out the math yourself, I can't remember, but for every 7 or 8 gatherers, you could have 6 or 7 dwarves. And at that point, those amount of gatherers or dwarves, you're losing around about 35 gold a minute with no upgrades. And I think that Matreiuss has got no upgrades. So you're losing about that much gold a minute. And it gets worse and worse the more upgrades you have. So it does matter. You do lose out at this point. But this is how long Matreiuss has found an advantage by not building dwarves. A really, really interesting concept here from Matreiuss after all is said and done. But we are seeing the raid now coming through onto this position. Matreiuss has got his market set up, obviously wanting to go to that next stage. He's got a nice wall here set up that he can just walk through to get onto this gold mine, as now Matreiuss has got to pull back just a little bit to defend. We do see the shockwave coming through. A couple of villagers will end up getting taken out, as the Murmillo coming in onto the front of this position as well, causing some problems here for Matreiuss, as Matreiuss has to pull back his army here to help defend. as Mariano 110 of 90 population. Needs a couple more manas as he's lost those to that lone battle ball, causing some problems here. But Mariano still has gold income in his main base. Going to have to move over onto this gold mine fairly shortly. But the heroes of Matreiuss are just so strong at the moment. He's got so much income. He's got his farm set up. He's got everything he needs here to continue pumping units. And not only that, he's got the throw and axemen here. He's going to be able to clean up those medium throw and axemen really, really easily. Battle Ball's also getting started to train here for Matreiuss as well, as Mariano going to be having to pull back at this point because he just cannot fight this army. He doesn't have his armory upgrades here either at this point. After all is said and done, farms are starting to come through. Mariano going to try and sneak this gold mine on this position. There are some pesky lions there that might give away his position there, as Thea does manage to be clicked up here by Mariano. So the game's not over at this position here. Mariano's still fighting as best as he possibly can. There is no flaming weapons remaining for Matreiuss, but the hardest part in this matchup, if you survive flaming weapons, is then to also be able to survive hell. And I mean that in the literal sense of hell, as well as the god hell with one L. So two L's with one L, surviving hell. And that's fire giants, that's Nidhogg, that's Ballista. That's all of the crazy late game Norse techniques that Matreiuss has kind of come up with. As the battle ball's sneaking around onto the bottom side of the map, now going to be able to take out this bottom town center. Mariano not in position to defend that one in the slightest. Mariano needs to put all his effort into getting this position here as well, as hell has been clicked up here. The battle balls will be able to clean this town center up. Some Hero Murmillo are making their way across the map here to defend this, as the villagers are going to try and repair this one back up. But at 20 hack, 20 crush, it's just too much damage coming through, as the heroic gauge does come through here for Mariano, which does mean Stymphalian Birds. And Stymphalian Birds, they are a fantastic counter to the Nidhogg. As we do see a temple now coming up as well for Matreiuss. He's going to be wanting to get himself as many fire giants as he can. And Matreiuss at this point is going to decide he's kind of got two options. So one, he can put the effort into grabbing the town centers, or two, he can just try and go for a huge gold starve here after all is said and done. And I don't mind either one of those options. And I love this play here from Matreiuss. Look at this. This is 200 wood a piece on these farms, and he's just going to take those out with the battle ball. The villagers retreating away. Look at Mariano's wood here. He's got such little wood. 3 farms getting taken out. 600 resources taken out there by those battle ball, as the Herso are pushing through, going to take out the citizen there as well, as the army of Mariano going to push through. He's got a wall here he's going to deal with to get onto this position, but there's also a hill fort there as well, as the town center on the way. Battle ball moving up to the top side of the map, as we do see a palace here. And medium infantry on the way, and copper weapons coming through for Matreiuss as well. As Matreiuss says, he doesn't even care about these Murmillo pushing through, because he knows he's got a hill fort here. He knows there's going to be a Nidhogg coming in to defend, and he just puts it down onto this position, says, all right, no worries, I'm defended, all good. As the Herso push through, can try and take out a villager here. Cannot quite manage to do so, as the palace is up and all things are safe on that position, as the town center here looks like it's going to be able to come back up. Matreiuss can't get back in there, as the Stymphalian Bird is in to defend on that position, as the fire giants are going to start coming out here. So much favor in the bank here for Matreiuss, as Mariano at this point, he needs Mythic Age. And I would say, while I don't want to go Hecate here because of those Herso, I do want to go Hecate here for the Lampedes, because if you go for Helios, you don't have a good counter to those fire giants. But you can utilize the Vortex, obviously, to take out your opponent's economy and everything like that. And then maybe you can kill off the fire giants at some point with some hero units. Maybe. We'll see how it's going to go. As now Matreiuss, he's pushing in onto this position from both sides. We do see the Stymphalian Bird. Look at the damage that comes onto the Nidhogg by the Stymphalian Birds. It's so much. You need to utilize the Troll and the Fire Giant here to be taking those Stymphalian Birds out. So look at the damage. It's already down to 1,200. Imagine playing this as a Greek player with one Chiron. It takes so long to take the Nidhogg out, but the Nidhogg's already almost finished off. But now the Fire Giants are going to be able to clean up those Stymphalian Birds, and the Nidhogg stays alive for a little bit longer there. Nice play from Matreiuss. Good micro, as he's going to be able to clean up all of those Mariano units here. As Mariano's at 100 population, the palace will be getting taken down. Mariano trying to sneak back up onto this gold mine to stay alive here in this game. But in that moment, Mariano realizes he's too far behind. He cannot find his way to the Mythic Age to start making those very, very necessary fanatics in this matchup. Not being able to get himself the Lampedes out either. And Matreiuss just too far in front. Makes it work. Matreiuss' Loki is looking like it's on another planet in terms of how strong it is in this series. Being able to utilize Loki on a low hunt map. Yes, this is as high hunt as you possibly going to get for an Oasis, but nonetheless here, generally speaking, that goes in the favor of the Atlantean player more often than not. But Mariano just could not work it out here. He couldn't push in. He couldn't get that early damage done onto Matreiuss here in this game, and Matreiuss just had whatever he wanted done in this game. He did whatever he wanted here to Mariano, and he managed to find the win after all is said and done. Really nice play here from Matreiuss. If you guys enjoyed this game, please consider hitting the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTubes, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next game.